Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today, we're going to talk about overthinking. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a long time, but I never actually figured out the perfect timing to talk about it. I feel like I need a chance. I need a thing that could trigger me to talk about this and I have more ideas or more to say. So anyway, I think today is a perfect day, so I'm gonna just talk about it. And the funny thing is, before I started preparing for this topic, I actually went on Quora and I was searching for overthinking, and the first question popped up was, how can I get rid of overthinking? And of course, people were trying to, avoid things like that. Then the first answer came up, and it really, really kind of hit me, because the first two words he gave there is think more in capital letters. So the funny thing is, I wasn't really sure. I said, wow, that is a new idea, new direction to start talking about overthinking, because normally people will talk about how to get rid of it, not how to actually think more. So then I read the whole post and was thinking it totally makes sense, because what he said there is, normally when people overthink, it's actually they didn't think enough. They stopped before what they're supposed to be. Let's say, for example, you have a line that if you pass this line, you actually can't figure out what's going on, and then you can figure out the solutions to the certain situations or problems. But the problem is, we actually didn't reach this line. We saw or we experienced the situation, and then we stopped right here. So we started thinking just from this range. And we're only thinking about the event or the experience we had. And we're not thinking about why this happened and what could have I done better if I had another chance, or in the future, what could I do to improve it or to avoid it. So we haven't reached that part. We only stopped at this part. And that's when we have overthinking after effect. That is negative feelings, anxiety, fear, and other kind of negative emotions and feelings. And the funny thing is, I listened to a podcast and it says thoughts created feelings. And that's exactly what happened after you overthink. And your overthinking thoughts created overthinking feelings. So let's talk about how we can actually improve, or at some point, possibly we can really get rid of it. So I'm just going to use this guy's answer to explain why overthinking happened to us. Okay. For example, this happened to me all the time, and it was kind of embarrassing. I remember when I went to a jewelry shop with my friends. This guy is not like a jewelry store you can find in a department store. He has his own businesses, so designing jewelry is his own hobby. So we went there to kind of look for a certain style, and then found the one we like. And he was trying to be friendly. He said, oh, in winter we have a hockey shady, I think that's what he said there. But I thought he said the hockey playground is shitty. And so I said, well, at least you got a place to play, so it's not shitty. And realized after then, my friend said, what did you just say there? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that word in front of him, and when he didn't actually mean that way. So what he said there is this certain type of hockey playground for family members, not for professionals. There's a special word for that. So he said that word, but I thought he was saying shitty. Anyway, after that, my thought was on this thing for probably like a month. I just could not get over it. So I just repeated that scenario there over and over again. I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I feel so embarrassed. I hope I won't say that guy anymore, But And then I started thinking, oh, maybe he'll think I'm very impolite. This Asian girl don't know what she's talking about, and she's very rude. So I had a lot of feelings like that. I thought he would think something like that. So, and I started have negative feelings and started having things like I don't want to go to any jewelry stores anymore because what if something bad happened to me again? Then now, after I read that post, I was thinking, so my overthinking actually just stopped on the superficial fact. I didn't go deeper. I didn't think enough to get over it. But if that happened to me again, what I would do is, yes, I made a mistake. It was very embarrassing, and he probably thought I was rude. But so what? I can't change that thing anymore. I have to move forward and move on and look at the future. So in the future, I need to make sure that kind of things won't happen again. So how can I prevent that kind of things from happening is to study well. I went on Google to search for like hockey terms or something like that. So now I studied. Now if I run into some Canadian locals, especially old people, when I chat, I have no problem talking about hockeys, canoeing, and some other very Canadian activities. That's because I studied. And then that kind of mistakes rarely happen to me again. Another example, when I talk to my supervisor, I always have I feel like I'm having a heart attack every time when I'm talking to her. It's just because in our mind, especially as a Chinese student, we've been through so many years of education and we've been taught to respect teachers. We've been taught to be a good student, right? So you're not trying to argue with things. So I have that force of habit to just follow what she said. And I really kind of take her words as my, Bible. I follow it. And sometimes when she said something, I'm sure she didn't mean it. And she just, it's hard to read emotions and expressions in email. So sometimes she has an exclamation mark, and sometimes he repeat what she wanted me to do. But to me, I feel like, oh my God, she's not happy about me. She's not happy about my work, my writing. She probably thinks I'm so stupid. She probably thinks that she doesn't want to work with me, because I can't do anything. Seriously, I had a lot of those kind of negative thoughts when I talked to my supervisor. That's also a phenomenon of overthinking, but not thinking enough. So I stopped right there, and what I did is to avoid her comments and avoid doing things, so which caused procrastination. Right, I talked about this in the last episode. And then I was like, now, because I'm of course she's not my supervisor anymore. We're working on a journal article as co-authors, so we're more like colleagues. But I'm getting better. I could tell I'm getting better. Okay, so after I read that post, I was thinking, you know what? Some comments are actually harsh, right? So when you read them, you definitely don't feel happy, and you definitely feel upset or frustrated or even feel hurt. So what? Those comments are good for you. Well, constructive comments, okay? Not the comments like from random strangers. Those comments that they gave to you because they want you to change. So you have to face those comments and you have to think thoroughly what I need to do. Okay, so list all the steps you need to fix those things, problems, and then start from there. And that's how we called think thoroughly or think more, right? So that's what I was thinking. Yeah, and after that, after I really facing the situations I have or facing the opinions or comments or emails, something like that, my first reaction is always to think one more step. Just figure out what I need to do. after I read those comments, after I read those emails, after I read those or heard those opinions, what I need to do. Are they trying to sabotage me, or they're just trying to help me? You have to understand some people just don't know how to deliver their messages to you. And especially when we interpreted those messages, we actually add a little bit spice on that. And it's totally going to twist it to another direction. So that's why we need to calm down and think more and list the things and list the solutions to each comment. And you will definitely feel better. So that's how I do overthinking. For relationships, friendship, love, or parents, or any kind of relationships, it's the same thing. When they text you, or especially texting, I think the phone calls are okay. When they text you and if you think this is something that, what do you want to say? What do you want to do? Oh, maybe you're thinking about me in a different way that I don't want you to think about me that way. So you can actually ask, what do you mean by that? Right? So just one more step to stop you from overthinking. So that's what I was thinking about. I think I was talking to my best friend. She said something and I thought she was mad at me. So normally I would just stop right there and I started being really upset because, oh, how come she's mad at me? I didn't do anything. What did I do wrong? And stuff. But I didn't stop right there. I texted her, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say there. Do you mean this? And then she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that way. I was trying to say this. So, hey, we solved the problem. So it's always just the one step forward and a lot of things can be solved. So that's what I was trying to say. I don't even know what I'm saying here. Anyway, another thing I want to mention is thoughts created feelings. So you have thoughts first, because when you see things or when you experience things, you don't have feelings first. You have thoughts first, and your thoughts create feelings. You have positive thoughts, you have positive feelings, and you have negative thoughts, you have the negative feelings. And when you overthink, you tend to have negative thoughts, and then of course you will have negative feelings. So to not try to improve situations like that, you always have to ask yourself when you think, are those thoughts reasonable? If they are reasonable, and you have to ask yourself why. After you ask yourself why, your positive feelings will naturally flow. So that's a very natural thing, I would say that. But I'm still learning. I don't know. Wow, this is my first week and first time of summer school. I've been through a lot and I've learned a lot too. If it were me in this situation, I would definitely explode, but I managed it and did it pretty well. So that means all the tricks that we're talking here actually work. So let's try that in your cases and see if that works for you. And if it does, let me know. If it doesn't, just don't tell me, okay? So that's today's episode. I hope you like it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.